Good Thursday morning to everyone watching around the world, watching the United States, and we're going to be doing daily sports podcasts. Myself, Glenn Foley. Glenn's a little under the weather today, so I'm going to do the next couple on my own. So what we're going to plan on doing is having some great guests, talk about everything going on in the world of sports, maybe some pop culture. We'll mix in there some comedy, so that's what we're going to do over the next. Pretty much every day we're going forward. So I just want to bring up a few sports topics that have been on my mind for the past couple days and actually couple weeks. First, I want to talk a little college football, where the past couple weeks losing has been rewarded. And I'm going to start with, obviously, Florida State going 13-0 in a power conference and getting screwed out of the the NCAA playoff that's going to take place on January 1st. You got Alabama and Texas, both with one loss, getting the nod for the playoff. Florida State was 13-0. They won their conference. Granted, their starting quarterback, Jordan Travis, who is a top-end college quarterback, broke his leg, or he banged his knee up, and he's done. So the second quarterback gets a concussion. The third quarterback comes in, plays in the ACC championship game, beats the number. I guess Louisville was in top 12, top 13 team. They beat them. Wasn't a pretty win, but they won the game. 13-0. So I ask, why play the season? Why did Mike Norvell, the coach of Florida State, tell his team to go out there and win every game? I mean, seriously, they won every game. Power conference, beat a bunch of top 25 teams, and they get screwed. I don't care that the quarterback is not there. First of all, the guy who's a number 3 guy already has got a win over a top 15 team in Louisville. So I don't get it why a one-loss team in Texas and Alabama get into the playoff, and Florida State's going to be playing Georgia in the Who Cares Bowl. So it's actually, I think, the Orange Bowl, to be honest with you. But, and now all Florida State's guys who went out there, played hard, kid like Jared Verse, top 15 pick in the draft coming up this year, he's not going to play in the game. So his college career, comes to a screeching halt when he should be playing on January 1st against whoever that may be, whether it's Michigan or Washington or one of those teams. So that's my take on that. And speaking of Washington, Michael Penix Jr. was screwed on the Heisman Trophy as well. I will say this. Did I have a small wager on Penix before the season at plus 1650? Yes, I did. But for Jaden Daniels, who's a phenomenal player who had a great year, I don't know, there's, in my opinion, there's criteria for the Heisman Trophy. Your team has to be like in the hunt for something. Jaden Daniels, they were 9-3. Jaden Daniels had played 3 games this year against Army, against Georgia State, I believe it was, and Grambling. Why don't you take away those stats? Let's see what his stats are after that compared to Penix. Penix, who led the country in passing yards on a team that's 13-0, that's playing January 1st in the college football playoff. Oh yeah, by the way, he beat the guy who finished third in the Heisman not once but twice, in Bo Nix. So you tell me, and Penix was 5-0 against the top 25 this year. So I don't know. You tell me. Daniels may be a more exciting player, a more explosive player. Michael Penix was the best player in college football this year. I don't care what anybody says. And, like I said, the guy lost 3 times. He didn't lose once, and maybe he's like Florida State now. Maybe we deserve to be in the championship or in the Final Four. They lost 3 times. So they're like top 17 team. But because his big game, he ran for like 250 yards and threw for like 300 yards against Mississippi State. Big deal. Michael Penix is the uncrowned Heisman Trophy winner of 2023. Daniels will go higher in the draft. I mean, that much for sure. And like I said, he may even be a better player. But Michael Penix Jr. had a better season with more on the line, and maybe he'll get the last laugh after all if they win a national championship. I'm sure he'd much rather have the national championship than the Heisman Trophy. But I think Michael Penix Jr. deserves both. Again, just my thought. closer to home, and you see behind us Lincoln Financial Field. The Philadelphia Eagles are on a bit of a tailspin. I mean, say a bit of a tailspin. They've been absolutely lambasted their last two games. First at home to the San Francisco 49ers, and then last Monday night to the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of problems for the Eagles, and most of it is defensively. I think they have to kind of change up the philosophy a little bit. Last year, they had 71 sacks as a defensive unit, mostly from their front four. No need to blitz. Well, guess what? The front four ain't getting there. They're not getting there this year. I think they have, 30-something sacks this year, or nowhere even near on pace for the 71. So what that entails is more blitzing. I think they're going to have to start bringing home some linebackers. They did a couple times and got burned against the Cowboys. But when you do it so little and so few times, teams are going to be carving up the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott had all day to throw. He barely even had to be flushed out of the pocket. You got guys like Graham and Hassan Reddick's the only guy who's getting there this year. But Josh Sweat is a little bit down this year. The guys on the inside, who would have thought, even though he was a terrific player, a Pro Bowl player, how much they missed Javon Hargrave. And they actually replaced him with Jalen Carter, who's been tremendous. He has been disruptive, but Javon Hargrave had double-digit sacks last year. Jordan Davis has improved, but he's a run stopper. He's not a pass rusher that Hargrave was. That's where, because that's kind of exposing some of the linebacker issues they've had. The defensive backs have not been great. Darius Slay has been pretty good. James Bradbury, not so much. The safeties has been a dumpster fire for the whole year. Blankenship's a nice player, but he's not. I don't think he's great. Terrell Edmonds. Sidney Brown is a rookie. There's definitely some promise. He showed flashes, but the Eagles defensively need to tighten everything up, and offensively, the offense I think is actually getting a pass because they didn't even score an offensive touchdown on Monday night against Dallas. So, obviously the three fumbles, one by Hurts, one by Devontae Smith, one by A.J. Brown. Those are your three best players on offense. And they put the ball on the ground, two of them in plus territory. So they got to tighten that up. They got to get back to the basics, running the football. And, last year it was a combination, guys. So I don't know why, what the deal is with Rashad Penny. Only the team knows and Nick Sirianni knows. So Rashad Penny, I would like to see him get some carries. Get him, get Gainwell, get Swift, get them all carries, get fresh bodies in there. Swift has been tremendous. I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong about DeAndre Swift, but he's been tremendous. But I think if you kind of get a nice rotation going, and like I said, only they know down the locker room below me what's going on with Rashad Penny, because he can be an explosive guy too. So that's what I think they need to do. Not put so much of the onus on Jalen Hurts and Brown and Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert they got back. Julio Jones is giving them absolutely nothing. I don't even know why he's still on the team. Maybe it's the veteran leadership in there. I get that. But he's done nothing. He's been a waste for the Eagles so far. I'd love to see him, make a big third down catch somewhere. I'm not asking for it to be the Julio Jones of the Atlanta years, but throw him the ball on third down. Or maybe he just can't get open anymore. So the talk of the NFL has been Tommy DeVito for the New York Giants, who's gone 3-1, and I don't know. You want to give the Giants a glimmer of hope. The playoffs at 5-8. They're only a game out, being that the Packers, I think, hold the 7th spot at 6-7, and obviously they have now a tiebreaker over the Giants. But Tommy DeVito, I saw him play a lot at Syracuse and a bunch at Illinois. He was, just a guy, went undrafted, and a guy. This is the prime example of a guy making the most of his opportunities. So. Tommy DeVito, he's got to play the Eagles twice in the last 3 weeks, so we'll see what happens. Maybe the Eagles will take my advice and start to get, try to get more pressure on the quarterback. Then we'll see, if Tommy DeVito is a keeper or not. I actually think he's earned probably 2 or 3 years in the league because of what he's done the last couple of weeks. You look at a quarterback like Tyler Heineke, who had a few good games with Washington. He bounced around, had a few good games with Washington, signed a nice backup contract with who's Heineke with now? Who's he playing with? trying to think who he's playing with now. Tyler Heineke. He was just starting for someone. I don't know why I can't. I'll look it up as we speak. I know everyone's going to chime in, knowing knowing. Yeah, he's with the Atlanta Falcons. Started a couple games for Desmond Ritter, but he, like I said, he earned a decent contract for having a few good games. I think Tommy DeVito's at least warranted that. So he'll be someone's backup next year, whether it's the New York Giants or whoever. He's earned a shot in the league. So maybe he can get his own house and get out from underneath his parents' dime after that. So let's stick in New York and Zach Wilson. He's been a lightning rod for me and Glenn. Me and Glenn are always arguing about Zach Wilson. Glenn being the former Jets quarterback, he stands up for his guy. But I think he stinks. I mean, I don't like guys. He was a fifth string quarterback at BYU, and he has a lights out year and becomes the number 2 pick overall. Last Sunday, did he turn the corner, win the AFC Player of the Week? He looked a lot more relaxed in the pocket. So maybe Glenn might be right after this. When Glenn comes back, we will talk more about Zach Wilson. Maybe next week. I want to see if we can put 2 straight games together for the New York Jets quarterback. And like I said, we're going to be talking pretty much every day going forward. Busy Saturday of boxing. We'll get into boxing. I also do my boxing podcast with strictly boxing, but boxing, bowls, and basketball, plus the NFL has 3 games on Saturday. Tomorrow being Friday, we'll preview those games. And like I said, Glenn will be back in a few days. And I thank you for everyone for watching. This has become more of a consistent basis. We're going to be traveling, doing this stuff, and just love your comments. Comments wherever you're watching this, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. Soon to be on X. We're going to be linking it up, and we're going to have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.